Joining me now is Bishop T.D. Jakes, best-selling author of Instinct, The Power to Unleash Your Inborn Drive. Well, I got to tell you, longtime fan, and I'm really thrilled that you took the time to be here with us. I did a lot of research on this, and I've listened to a lot of your sermons in the past and more recently, and I found it interesting just how you came upon the idea of writing this book. Let's start with that.
The South Africa thing.
Yeah, you went on a safari.
I went on a safari in South Africa, and I was accompanied by a zoologist. My son and I were on the safari together, and he was describing all the different animals as we went around just to look at them. It was just a viewing safari. And he described the elephant, its tusk, its eating habits, its mating practices, but he couldn't find it. As the day wore on, there was also a Zulu who was with us, and he was there kind of as protection. He said nothing the whole day. Toward the end of the day, he stood up and said, "The elephant is over there." And when he did, all of a sudden I realized that I was seated in between intellect, the zoologist, and instinct, the Zulu. That intellect can explain it, but only instinct can find it. And I begin to apply that to so many things in my life, and out of that was the inspiration for this book.
So here's the thing, and this is one of the many challenges that your book tries to address. I took this from the book. We're often conditioned to dismiss our instincts as primal, animalistic, subjective, and unscientific. In a world where everything is done, there's surveys and everyone crunches numbers, and we're told that there's a right way to do everything because it's conclusive and there's science, you're saying go against that sometime.
The people who became the most successful in our society are people who broke the rules. There was no presidents for 24-hour news cycles until Ted Turner did it. There's so many people who got out of the box. Look at Apple and the birth of the whole notion of Apple, or Nike. I talk about in the book, and the birthing of that corporation, how they did something with the tennis shoe that had never been done before. If you only base your decisions on empirical data, you can only repeat what somebody else already did. If you follow your instincts and your own God-given creativity, we can go where we have not been before. And our nation used to do that. We used to be the most innovative nation in the world. And I think now we're starting to repeat what others have done instead of launching into new idioms of thought and possibility.
Do you think, I love that you say that, because I said, and I felt like it was in the 1970s, where we put it in neutral.
Right.
When Japan sent over this little thing called a Datsun, and we laughed at him. We said, is this the same company sending us transistor radios?
Right.
Never will be competition for us. And it's almost as if we're being torn apart whether we should go back to our roots, where it was sort of pull yourself up by the bootstraps, take these chances, and never believe that there's a ceiling, or do we stay within a comfort? Because you call comfort in your book a cage.
Comfort is a cage. We used to be pioneers. That's how the country was settled. And we stopped pioneering new things. We stay where it's comfortable. We play where it's safe. We don't really get out into the wild of the possibilities. We stay in the confined cage of that is tangible and touchable, 9 to 5, and that's it. But we need more creativity, and we need to follow our instincts. Now, without that, you may make some money, but you won't find fulfillment.
Yeah, we talked about that right before you came on, the idea that there are a lot of people who are doing very well. Jack Ma is the richest man in China. His company just went public a couple of weeks ago. It's just an absolute behemoth, the most valuable company in the world now. And every time he's interviewed, he complains about how unhappy he is. Some people don't want to hear rich people complain about anything.
Right.
But certainly the money part of it doesn't guarantee success.
And it doesn't always ensure that you're going to get both things from the same place. Maybe you need to be more philanthropic. You may not get everything from one sphere of influence. You may not get it all from work. You may need to go out there and do something with kids. But it is the search of fulfillment. Many of our people today who graduate from college, they pick an area of expertise based on stats. But if you're going to go to work every morning, get out of bed every morning, you have to do something that you were born to do, that you were created to do, and that you care about.
Although some would argue, though, if you take underwater basket weaving, no matter how much you like it, don't expect to make a lot of money when you come out of school.
I don't know. It depends on how creative you are.
All right, well, speaking of which, I know Ted Turner created the 24-hour news cycle, but, Fox Business perfected it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Hey, we'll be right back. Let's